I think when you look at it, I think that naturally when you get so close to nicking, and it was a steal of nearly nicking 3 points, it disappointing with the manner of the goal that we concede. But I think when you look at the performance, it was one of those where we weren't quite at the level we needed to be. I thought they caused us some real problems. But having said that, I think we've performed a lot better. Middlesbrough at home and come away with nothing, whereas today we weren't where we need to be, and we steal a point, which is championship football. And I think we've spoken before around what do you look like on a day when you're not at your best. And I think what we did show is a real fight, a real togetherness, a real desire to defend the box, which for the lads, I think when on a bad day is really, really important.
So, I mean, that's interesting now because, as you say, you look at it and defensively very resolute, as they were at Portsmouth, as they were at Blackburn. But for you, the frustration is maybe what you didn't do with the ball in possession.
Yeah, definitely that. I think I think it's one of those. It's how do you manage the game? I think we defended too much. We didn't manage the game well enough when we won it back. We didn't manage to keep it well enough. And that'd be a whole host of things of basics, speed of thought, get into shape quick enough, bravery to play and do it, a whole host of factors. So we ended up on the back foot quite a lot defending, but again I thought we showed some real compactness, some real togetherness, some real toughness, which I think is going to be really important from the group, and especially in these early stages. You compare where we're at in our journey to Coventry. They're a lot more established, been together a lot longer. So what we have to do is take the experience today and move on and learn from it and use it to be better.
And at that point, do you feel that moving forward, when you sort of reflect on it, that probably is the case, that is a group who are very cohesive, they're consistent, they've been together for a period of time, they've not done a lot of change over this last window, and you can see that familiarity in how they sort of progress the ball?
Yeah, and understanding each other's games and how they play. They're a really strong side that are well set up, that obviously had a strong season last season. So yeah, you only got to look at their results here. The volume of goals they've scored, that it's going to be a tough game, and they're a little bit ahead in terms of where they're at as a group. So we have to look at today, take away the positives that are definitely in there, and also the areas which we know we have to be better at. But it's ultimately about how do you chip away and keep picking points up.
And you've got a point today through Matthias Quistgaard, first goal for the club, big for him, I'm sure, on a personal level. Just must be delighted because you've managed him in a way that you didn't really want to push him too early. We'll come on to maybe what the injury element is there, but in terms of that goal, that should do a lot for him, shouldn't it? Yeah,
definitely, and he's trained really well. I think that's the other bit when you look at it. We've had 2 weeks, but we've had 8 away. That's the challenge, when you've got people arriving back from international duty so late. So I have to give a huge amount of credit to when you look at like Kellen, Ben, Sarge. They returned really late this week and have had to go and put in a real shift, which I think you could see with Sarge's energy where he's at. So it's been challenging from that perspective, but I think what I've seen in the last 2 weeks in Matthias is someone that's really progressed, really starting to settle, really starting to understand what we're asking him to do. And yeah, I thought the goal was a moment of real high quality.
And also the efficiency, because it's not like he's had a lot of chances there. He's got that one real good opportunity, and the calmness and the composure, that's kind of underlined what he's produced at Bromby. If you look at his numbers, he's very, very clinical. Yeah,
definitely, really good finish. I think he shows he's a real live wire. He's a pest. He's a handful. I think he helps Sarge in terms of someone else who's willing to run beyond. So he's someone that we were delighted we were able to bring here. He obviously landed funny, felt his knee, so we'll see how that is. It's as far as I know at the minute in terms of what that looks like, but he's definitely someone that for the short medium term, this club's going to be really important.
Just on that injury for him, Ben Krizeni, that looked maybe hamstring more.
Yeah, felt his left hamstring.
Which for him as well, we talked about him in the build-up. Obviously we'll await the confirmation of what that looks like, but just frustration for him because he must have felt off the back of Blackburn, he's in with a good shout now as you've challenged him to try and be consistent in the team. Yeah,
gutted for him. I don't know how bad it is. Obviously, I thought he was excellent against Blackburn. He's had to be patient. He's obviously, great achievement for him to get called up for the 21. He's obviously been away for 2 weeks and got back on first session Wednesday. So, yeah, disappointed for him because he did a real level of performance for me.
And talking of levels of performance, just be interested in your thoughts on your two centre backs following on from Blackburn. They when they were needed, and that was quite often in today's game. But they stood up strong and defended their box excellent.
Yeah, defended set pieces, defended the box. I thought people putting bodies on the line, and I know we spoke before. I think it's probably why we got a decent reception at the end off a fantastic away support, was our willingness to give everything, and that for me, when you're not quite at it or the opposition are better, that's what will help you get things from games, when you show that fighting spirit. And we needed that today. We had to dig deep, and ultimately it's one of those, we know we can perform a lot better. We take the point and we move on.
On Medic, have you seen now that progression in his game as he adapts and understands what the requirements are playing in this league?
Yeah, he's definitely that, and I think we've not just a group but individuals. I think that's what we're striving for, elements of consistency, and that such a championship football is so different. The intensity from start to finish never drops. You see that today, and again, I think that's probably slightly different for some of them in terms of when you're playing in the difference in levels. I think when you in some different countries' leagues, I think you can have periods probably where the game settles a little more than what it does. It's obviously a relentless league. It's so intense. It's so full on for the whole 90, 100 minutes you have to play. But also when you go game to game. So I definitely thought Yakov showed some encouraging things today. He showed some real aggression, use of his body when defending, and he'll continue to get better.
It's more of a gun in. So obviously at the moment it does feel maybe that frustration, both in terms of elements of performance and the fact you got so close to the win, but as you've already referenced, there won't be probably many teams who come here and maybe take any points at all. So in the context of what you're trying to achieve this season, that could look like a good point down the track. Definitely
that. I think at the minute, rightly so, rather than just chase result, we have to chase consistency in performance, because that will allow you to win for longer periods. And yeah, with so many factors, without going over everything again, but with the volume of new players, then you throw in a national, and we're chasing a bit of consistency, which we need from the programme as well. So we'll learn. We'll definitely, that's the key bit. Take all the experiences, and we've had real varied experiences so far in all the games that we've had, and we'll use that to become better as a group and as a team.
Which final one? No Cordoba, no Marcondes today, Liam. What can you let us know on that?
Jose travelled but was sick this morning. So again, he's another one. Flew Wednesday night, got back on Thursday. So yeah, when you look at that, he woke up and had a bit of a temperature, etc., and didn't feel well. So we kept him away from the group and had to send him back. And then Emmy's just got an ongoing hip issue, which has been there for a while, which we're just having to manage at the minute.
Okay, thanks.
Liam, in the first half, Coventry seemed to be getting frustrated quite a bit. I just wondered if you had any comment on a couple of incidents where the Coventry substitutes were warming up and decided to sort of almost surround your player. One player your captain taking a corner, another taking a throw in. It just looked like a little bit of gamesmanship there. I don't know if you saw it and had any thoughts on that.
No, there was loads of it throughout, right, from us as well. So again, I think it's one of those. It was. I think that's what you get when you points on the line, pressure, people wanting to do well. Naturally, you get those emotional things. So look, I'm not going to be pointing any fingers, because let's be clear, we obviously managed the game in a certain way at times as well today, which we have to learn to do better.